My name is Michael Miller, and the events I'm about to recount took place during a time when my wife, Samantha, and I had been married for over 20 years. We first met in college, fell deeply in love, and tied the knot shortly after graduating. Together, we built a life and raised two daughters, Emily and Kate, who were just a year apart in age. At the time, Emily was a freshman in college, adjusting to life on campus, while Kate was in the final stretch of her senior year of high school. Just 6 weeks earlier, we had moved Emily into her dorm at a state university about 2 hours away. She was living with one of her closest friends, and while her absence left a noticeable void in our home, we were thrilled for her as she embarked on this new journey. Kate, on the other hand, was still undecided about her college plans, though there was a strong chance she would follow in her sister's footsteps and attend the same university. Despite their occasional disagreements, their bond was unshakable. They always stood by each other when it truly mattered. With Emily away, the house felt quieter, almost too still at times, but Samantha and I found comfort in knowing she was thriving. At that point in our lives, I was a partner at a well-established accounting firm, while Samantha worked as a supervisor at a local building supply company. Though she had originally earned a degree in English, she had steadily built a successful career after re-entering the workforce once our daughters were old enough to attend school. My income was higher, but together, we maintained a comfortable and secure lifestyle, a beautiful home, reliable cars, and occasional luxury. Samantha seemed content with our life, and our days followed a familiar, predictable rhythm. That particular Friday, I wrapped up work early, looking forward to a peaceful weekend. With Kate away on a school camping trip until Sunday, I saw this as a perfect opportunity for Samantha and me to reconnect. I envisioned a romantic dinner at our favorite Italian restaurant, followed by some long overdue time alone. Emily's departure had left a noticeable gap in our lives, and I hoped this weekend would help us find our balance again as a couple. When I pulled into the driveway, I noticed Samantha's car was already in the garage. Unusual for that time of day. Maybe we were on the same page, both craving time together. Eager to share my dinner plans, I stepped inside, calling out for her as I moved through the house. After checking the kitchen and living room and finding no sign of her, I headed toward our bedroom. "Samantha, are you in the bedroom?" I called. Her voice came back, calm and steady. "Yes, Michael, I'm here." I stepped inside and found her seated at her vanity, carefully applying makeup. She wore a sleek black dress, complemented by the pearl necklace I had given her last Christmas. Her matching heels sat neatly on the floor beside an overnight bag, partially packed with casual outfits and delicate lingerie. Taken aback, I studied the scene before asking, "Wow! Samantha, you look incredible. Did I forget we had plans? Where are we going? I can get ready in no time." She turned to face me, her expression serious. "Michael, we need to talk," she said evenly. "I was planning to tell you later, but since you're home early, we might as well discuss it now. I have plans this weekend." "A date?" For a moment, I froze, struggling to process her words. "A date?" My voice came out hoarse. "What are you talking about? We've never discussed an open marriage. Is this some kind of elaborate joke? Please tell me you're planning something for us, and this is just your way of surprising me." Samantha exhaled deeply, as if she had rehearsed this moment. "Michael, it's just a weekend. I'll be back by Sunday, and everything will go back to normal," she said, her tone composed yet firm. "I've been feeling lost ever since Emily left, and I really need this." She hesitated before adding, "It's something I'm doing for myself. Just one weekend, after all these years together. It won't change anything, and it might even help us." I struggled to find the right words. "Samantha, how long have you been planning this? Who is he? Are you leaving me for him?" "No," she replied firmly. "I love you, Michael. I'm not leaving you." She hesitated before adding, "He's just a friend. He's actually married, too. We've had lunch a few times, and he makes me feel alive." She met my gaze, her expression steady. "I don't want to lie or sneak around, so I'm telling you the truth. This isn't about us. It's about me." Her words hit like a blast of cold air, sharp and impersonal, as if she had rehearsed them beforehand. She continued, "I'm not getting any younger, Michael. He finds me attractive, and it's given me a confidence I didn't realize I had lost. Can't you see? It's only for one weekend. I'll come back, and we'll move on like before. I could barely wrap my head around what she was saying. One weekend of what? Finding yourself? And you actually believe this won't change anything between us? My voice was laced with disbelief. Samantha, listen to yourself. You don't sound like the woman I married. She remained composed. Michael, this is just a brief moment in our lives. I love you, and that won't change. Please try to understand. I stood there, struggling to grasp the absurdity of it all. Then a thought struck me, and I fought to keep my voice steady. So you're really going through with this? Yes. Her answer was unwavering. But it doesn't have to change anything. I forced a tight smile, though my chest burned with anger and disbelief. All right then. If you're so sure there won't be consequences, then so be it. But if this is how things are now, I might as well make my own plans for the weekend too. I let the words hang before adding. But I need you to promise me one thing. Keep your phone on so I can reach you if something urgent comes up. She hesitated, her eyes searching mine for something unspoken. After what felt like an eternity, she let out a breath and nodded. Fine, I'll leave it on. But you have to promise not to call unless it's absolutely necessary. And no tracking me. Deal. I forced another strained smile. You can still change your mind, you know. She didn't answer. Instead, she turned back to her vanity, signaling that the conversation was over. Feeling unsettled, I left the room and retreated to my office, the weight of it all pressing down on me. It was as if my entire world had suddenly shifted, like the ground beneath me was no longer stable. My fingers hovered over my phone as I scrolled through my contacts, stopping at a name I hadn't called in years. A deep breath later, I pressed a button. The line rang, and then a familiar voice answered. Michael? Wow, it's been forever. Anna Pierce. Once my assistant, once someone who had been more than just a colleague. Anna, how have you been? I asked, her voice stirring emotions I hadn't revisited in a long time. Anna had been my right hand during my climb up the corporate ladder, back when I was still a senior associate working toward partnership. Her husband, Matt, had been an ambitious executive, and together they had a young son, Luke. But tragedy struck when Matt died in a car accident 5 years ago. I had been there for Anna through it all, helping her secure a settlement that ensured she and Luke would be okay. During that time, our connection had deepened, maybe too much. But out of respect for my marriage, we had gone our separate ways. Ow! Hearing her voice again, I felt something stir inside me. I'm not doing great, I admitted after a pause. Then, with a heavy breath, I confessed, Samantha just told me she's spending the weekend with another man. She insists it's a one-time thing, but I can't even process it. Silence lingered on the other end before Anna finally spoke. Her voice was calm, but full of empathy. Michael, I'm so sorry. I can't believe she would do this. I always thought your marriage was rock solid. So, did I? I muttered bitterly. I explained everything. Giving her the details, I could barely make sense of myself. She listened quietly, absorbing every word. Then, her response caught me off guard. Luke's staying with his grandparents this weekend, Anna said softly. If you need someone to talk to, you're welcome to come over. I had planned for a quiet weekend, but the idea of company felt like a welcome escape. Anna's invitation felt like a lifeline, something to anchor me in the chaos. We agreed I'd head over in about an hour. As I prepared to leave, a strange mix of unease and relief settled over me. Seeing Anna again, reconnecting after all these years, felt like something solid to hold on to. When I arrived, she greeted me warmly, and we decided to grab dinner at an Italian restaurant. Ironically, the very same one where I had intended to take Samantha. Conversation flowed effortlessly between us, as if time had never put distance between us. As the evening unfolded, I felt a part of myself resurface, a part one hadn't even realized was buried beneath years of routine and responsibility. By the time the weekend came to a close, I felt different, more grounded, more certain. But as I drove home, that clarity was accompanied by a sense of dread. The confrontation with Samantha was inevitable, But for the first time, I felt ready to face it. Pulling into the driveway, I noticed her car parked in the garage. She was back. Taking a deep breath, I stepped inside. Samantha emerged from the living room, dragging her overnight bag behind her. For a brief second, she looked startled to see me, but she quickly masked it with a bright, almost carefree tone. "Hey, sweetheart. I knew you'd be waiting for me," she said, forcing a smile. "See? I'm still the same wife you married. You're incredible for giving me this little break. I'll make it up to you, I promise. Maybe I'll wear something special, and we can have our own little celebration before Kate gets home." Her casual attitude ignited something cold inside me, but I kept my expression unreadable. Instead of responding, I walked to the side table and picked up my phone. I had started recording before she even stepped through the door, something I felt necessary just in case. "Samantha," I said, my voice even but firm, "don't insult my intelligence. I know exactly what this weekend was. It wasn't just some harmless getaway." For the first time, her confident facade wavered. Guilt? Surprise? She would meet my eyes. "Michael, I told you it was just one weekend. It was supposed to help us. Help me. I thought you'd understand." I stepped closer, my tone sharp. "Understand? You expect me to believe that sleeping with another man was the solution to feeling alive? That it only happened once?" A flush crept across her face. Whether it was shame, defiance, or something else, I couldn't tell. Her voice softened. "Look," she murmured, "he's married too. He has kids. He's not leaving his wife. It was just an experience, Michael. It doesn't change how I feel about you." I exhaled slowly, my jaw tightening. "It changes everything for me," I said, my voice devoid of warmth. "You threw away our marriage for something you claimed was meaningless." Frustration flickered across her face. "You're being dramatic." Her words hung in the air, but the damage was done. There was no taking this back, no erasing what had happened. This wasn't just a betrayal. It was the beginning of the end. "He made me feel seen, Michael," she admitted, her voice quieter now. "Like I mattered. You can't understand what it's like to have someone look at you like you're the most beautiful thing in the world." I let out a slow breath, my voice laced with steel. "Is that so? And now what? Do we pretend this never happened? Just so you can run back to him the next time you feel unnoticed?" Her jaw clenched, and for the first time, emotion cracked through her composed exterior. "I told you, I'm not going back to him. I just needed one moment, one weekend, to feel like I was more than a shadow, like I was someone worth noticing." A bitter chuckle escaped me as I shook my head. "A shadow?" I echoed. "Samantha, you've never been a shadow to me. But when you walked out of this house with him, you made me feel like one." She looked away, the weight of my words pressing down on her. For the first time, regret flickered in her expression. "I'm sorry, Michael," she whispered. "I thought I could have that moment, return, and everything would fall back into place." A bitter chuckle escaped me. "There's no going back. And while you were away, I found someone who truly sees me, Anna." Samantha's face stiffened, disbelief and hurt flashing across her features. "You didn't—" "I did." I cut in, my voice steady and unwavering. "I spent the weekend with Anna, and for the first time in years, I felt like myself again." The truth hung in the air between us, raw and undeniable. Anna had always respected my marriage. Even after losing her husband, she never overstepped any boundaries, understanding the weight of my vows. But when you walked away, you gave me a reason to find her again. Samantha sank into a chair, her hands trembling. I never thought." "No, you didn't think," I said sharply. "If you had, you would have realized the damage you were doing." The silence that followed was suffocating, broken only by her barely audible voice. "What happens now?" I drew in a deep breath, the weight of my decision pressing down on me. "I'm filing for divorce. Samantha, this marriage can't survive what you've done." Her head snapped up, desperation flickering in her eyes. "Michael, please. I know I was wrong. Selfish. Thoughtless. But can't we try counseling? Something? I was just lost." "It's too late," I said firmly. You made your choice when you left, and I've made mine. Anna and I have reconnected, and I'm not letting go of what I feel for her. Samantha's face crumbled, her body trembling as quiet sobs overtook her. She wrapped her arms around herself as if trying to hold together the pieces of her unraveling world. After a pause, my tone softened. I'll be fair. I'll make sure you're financially secure and you can keep the house. But I can't stay with you. She gave a weak nod, defeated. Reaching for my phone, I stopped the recording I had started earlier, our final conversation captured in its entirety. It felt necessary, no matter how much it hurt. There was no turning back. That evening, I called Emily, who was away at college, and carefully broke the news. She was devastated, but agreed to wait before reaching out to her mother or sister until I had explained everything. When Kate returned from her camping trip, I sat her down and told her as well. She struggled to process it, but sensed the gravity of the situation. In the weeks that followed, everything shifted. I stayed in the guest room temporarily, helping Kate adjust, but soon moved into a modest apartment. My focus remained on support of my daughters while deepening my bond with Anna. True to my word, I worked out a fair settlement for Samantha, ensuring her financial security. To her credit, she accepted the terms without resentment. When people asked about the divorce, she initially claimed we had simply grown apart, but over time, she admitted her mistake and took responsibility. Months passed, and Anna and I began building a new life together. Surrounded by loved ones, we held an intimate wedding, with Emily and Kate offering their heartfelt blessings. Standing beside Anna that day, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace and gratitude. As time went on, Anna convinced me that fatherhood wasn't behind me. After successful vasectomy reversal, we welcomed 2 children into our lives. Our son, Matt, named after Anna's late husband, and our daughter, Maddie, in honor of my mother. Watching them grow brought me a happiness I hadn't thought possible. Even Anna's son, Luke, and I formed a strong bond, and I became the father figure he had long needed. Years later, on a warm summer afternoon at Emily's wedding, the past briefly resurfaced. Samantha approached me, now married to Nicholas, a kind man with a gentle presence. During a quiet moment, she turned, her expression a mix of remorse and acceptance. "I'm sorry for everything, Michael," she said softly. "I'm truly happy for you, but I'll always wonder what could have been." I met her gaze, my voice steady and sincere. "I forgive you, Samantha. We both found the lives we were meant to have. I wish you and Nicholas nothing but happiness." Leaning forward, I placed a light kiss on her forehead before turning back to Anna. Taking her hand in mine, we walked toward the dance floor. As we swayed to music, I met her radiant smile, filled with gratitude for love, trust, and the second chances that had reshaped our lives.